Yo, hey guys, it's Beast, back with some more Beastly content. Today, we're diving deep into the Deviated Secure scenario in Once Human and answering the biggest question. How do you actually make your deviations stronger? We're going to cover everything from your very first team to the absolute end game, S-Class, and Chaos Deviation crafting. Let's get into it. When you're first starting, your goal is to build a solid team of 3. Now, the Logging Beaver is a great early game choice for a couple of reasons. First, he's an easy to get attack type deviation that can deal good damage when paired with the proper units. And second, on the resource side, his main thing is bringing back logs and lower tier binding grenades, which are perfect for your early game dev captures. But if you want a team that really punches above its weight, I have a killer combo for you: the Electric Eel and Atomic Snail. Here's the synergy. The Atomic Snail provides rapid skill charge, which lets your main damage deviation get its skill off constantly. On top of that, the Electric Eel is pumping out AoE power surge damage. This duo is an incredible support set that you can pair with any heavy hitting damage deviation to melt enemies. Of course, these are just a few options. If you want a full breakdown of all the deviations, check out my PokeHuman Google Doc, linked below. Alright, let's talk end game. You've probably seen deviations with different classes ranging from C all the way up to S, and you might have even heard of the extra rare Chaos Deviations with those unique altered appearances. Now listen, because this is the most important part for Deviated Secure. The class is only important for end game deviation crafting. I'm also not even going to bother to mention skill or activity rating. Why? Because in Deviated Secure, a deviation's key stats are not affected by their rating. I have seen 4 3s with higher stats than 4 4s in this scenario. So unless you're trying to build some weird DIY Silver Gentleman or something, you do not need to worry about skill or activity ratings here. But if you really want to check, you can still see their ratings by placing them in a deviation containment unit. So how do you get those S-Class deviations? With the exception of the Strange Door, all S-Class deviations are crafted. The process is simple. You buy their specific code from the arena shop, you craft a mutagen, you use that mutagen in fusion with 2 parent deviations that have the 3 skills you want. But to craft the mutagen, you need materials. First, you need crystals from any point of interest. Any type of crystal will work. This makes the crystal smelting perk an absolute must-have for any serious deviation researcher. Second, you will need rubber. The easiest way to get this set up is an array of paper dolls that you can harvest daily for an endless supply of rubber and a bonus of metal scraps, which you'll also need to craft binding grenades. Third, you need a steady Stardust supply. Your best bets are the oil processing or Stardust refinery mimetic specializations. For oil processing, you need Stardust ore, which is super easy to mine right at the teleport tower just outside of Wishland. You'll also need mixed fuel. You can get this by either building your base in an oil field and refining crude oil, or you can just buy it from other players on the market. Another quick note is that Tar Pudding is scheduled to be released in this scenario, and when he is, he will also be another great option for passive mixed fuel. Your other option is to set up in a polluted area. You can pump polluted water for a sweet acid farm. Or, if you don't want to live in the smog, there's another great way to get acid. You can grow one of the 3 contaminated plants and just craft the acid at the synthesis bench. If you're a multi-character player, this is a super easy passive setup, provided you can get your hands on a couple hundred seeds to start. But back to the polluted area, if you do build there, you can also use a special mimetic so your Stardust mining platforms can mine Stardust ore passively. But honestly, who needs that much Stardust ore? Before we get into skills, we need to talk about Blink Slates. These are skillless deviations you use for fusion. For A-class deviations, you can get their species codes as a rare drop from defeating them in combat. These codes are what allow you to craft their specific A-class mutagens. You can use these mutagens at the fusion bench to easily craft Blink Slate A-rank deviations, which is critical for avoiding unwanted skills. This also applies to the S-Class Strange Door, which is unique in that it can also drop its code just like in S-Class. But what about B-Class and lower? How do you get rid of super common awful skills? Here's the trick. Fuse one copy of that deviation with any other random deviation. It's a 50-50 shot. You have a 50% chance to get the deviation you want, but also a 50% chance it comes with that skill you hate. My pro tip, I do this fusion on 3 different characters at the same time. Each one fuses one copy. It's the best way to get at least one copy of the right deviation with no or at least one less unwanted skill. Now for the Chaos Deviations, just like S-Class, these are crafted via a Mutagen, but their codes are insanely rare. At the start of a new scenario, there are only 50 total codes, and each player can only buy 2, so they get burned up fast. But don't cry just yet, you can still get the Chaos codes for all 4 Chaos Deviations as a rare drop from the 4 different arena bosses. Each boss has its own corresponding code, but I'll warn you, the Chaos farm is not for the weak. The drop rate is extremely low. May the RNG be with you. That's the last I have to say on Chaos Deviations. Okay, we've talked about S-Class and blank slates, now let's talk about skills. As I've said before, Deviations have their 1 ultimate attack plus 3 additional skills. For a full list, check my Pokehuman doc down below. I even have a section with my top 3 recommended skills for the current S-Class Deviations, and yes, these work for the Chaos variants too. But how do you choose skills for other deviations? First, head to the Reddit skill list, which is also linked in my Google Doc. Use Ctrl+F to search for your deviation, see what skills it can get, and pick the 3 that seems the best. As a general rule, pick any skill with the word recharge in it. These all boost skill recharge speed in some manner. Skills like elemental recharge, SP, or P attack boosting skills are also great. I don't remember the exact name for the SP and the P attack skills, but you should be able to find them out easily enough. But regardless, elemental recharge is also great, rapid recharge, anything that says recharge. For the tanks, you're going to look for things like cryolysis for a defense boost, or things like taunt to make the enemy target only them. So like taunt, you can use that on a strange door. It's a tank type deviation, so it's the only one taking damage. That also has cryolysis. It'll take a lot more damage than if it didn't have good skills. So another thing is that you want to avoid skills like cryo bullet. This is one very specific one. There's other skills like cryo bullet. They're pretty much just like they do one single attack. They don't do that much damage. Those type of skills, you want to avoid those. Cryo bullet specifically is a curse on some deviations, and it's the whole reason why you might actually want to make a blank slate deviation. So for an example, the atomic snail, the key skill you must have is either speed up or deviant energy conduit for a massive 45% skill boost. So once you've decided on your 3 skills, it's time for the final fusion. Check the skills compatibility list in my doc and find deviations that can be parents. You'll use these parents along with your S-Class or Chaos Mutagen, and the child will inherit the skills. Each parent only gives a 50% chance to pass on a skill. To make it 100%, either both parents need to have the same skill or you need to use a skill mutagen. And if you're wondering where to get those specific skill mutagens, my Pokehuman doc has a full skill directory that tells you exactly where you can buy every single skill and which arena shop it is located at. No guesswork. But be careful, you can only feed a total of 3 fusion materials during a fusion. Your S-Class mutagen will count as 1 fusion material if you're making an S-Class. This will leave you with only 2 more slots for additional deviations or skill mutagens. This is why you want to find parent deviations that have multiple matching skills, so you get more bang for your buck. At a minimum, you want to farm up parents with at least 1 matching skill and 1 parent with the other 2 skills you desire. This lets you use your S-Class mutagen plus 2 skill mutagens to guarantee your perfect 3 skill deviation. So you've finally done it. You farmed the arena, crafted the mutagen, and fused your perfect 3 skill S-Class deviation. Now you just need to level it right. This is just a tip for anybody who doesn't know. In Deviated Secure, this is the easiest part. Forget grinding mobs for hours. This scenario has its own version of rare candies. Special items that will instantly level your deviation all the way up to the current level cap of your Secura dex. This is a massive time saver and lets you get your new deviations combat ready immediately. So where do you get these magical level up items? It's completely passive. All you need to do is have a few Digby deviations active in your territory. That's right, while your deviations are out mining ore, they will also be passively collecting those level up items for you. This is why having a few of them running 24/7 is a no-brainer. You'll be stocking up on those items without even trying, ensuring that every new deviation you craft is max level the second it comes out of the fusion pod. With that, we'll get on to the deep in-game min-maxing portion of becoming the very best that no one ever was. That's right, we're talking traits. While this is mostly a non-deviated secure thing, combat-related traits should still have effects on deviations, meaning certain gold traits are sought after. I've started compiling a list of traits on the PokeHuman doc, but at the time of making this video, it's still a work in progress. I will continue to update it with more traits as time goes on. Most of the info out there is about mood and power, but there are supposedly new combat-related gold traits that will make your deviations even more powerful. There are also great territory-related traits you might want. As I said, full list down below. For combat traits, the only ones I've found with a definite perk would be the shiny variant perks, which each have varying effects, but be warned, some still don't apply to combat. Overall, while there are a few select instances where the shiny version will perform better, it's very few. You can check my full list of shinies and farm locations if you're wanting to go after the very best, but I'll leave you with one last warning: the atomic snail. The golden atomic snail. Its gold trait is a 15% extra energy regeneration increase. However, its base passive is a 45% increase, which requires either speed up or deviated energy conduit. Another thing to note on the golden atomic snail is any world dropped golden snail is guaranteed to have the skill cryo bullet on it. In order to get rid of cryo bullet, you want to start by fusing 2 golden snails. Buy all the possible skill mutagens possible in the arena that the atomic snail can learn so that you can increase the skill pool. This is going to use the mechanic to where if there are more than 3 skills possible, 3 are going to be chosen randomly. If the resulting snail still has cryo bullet, you can fuse that snail with a normal snail and then feed the 2 fusion material snails into that snail in order to increase the chance of the golden snail. And then you can also use 1 more skill mutagen, and if that outcomes cryo bullet, you're just going to have to continue to rinse and repeat until you finally get a golden snail that comes out without cryo bullet. The best area I have for farming a golden snail is the Snow Sprite Arena area. You can easily reload the teleport tower here. I honestly just go to the back area, check it. If I don't see a gold, change worlds, check again, and continue. But with that, I do believe this is all for the atomic snail. And that is everything you need to know about making your deviations stronger in Deviated Secure. It's a grind, but now you know the way. If this guide helps you out, do me a favor and hit that like button, and if you want more beastly content just like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And please, check out that PokeHuman Google Doc. It's my master resource, and it's all for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.